Hey guys, it's JP Gloria, and today we're going to look at Eliud Kipchoge as he broke the official world record for the marathon in a time of 2 hours, 1 minute, and 39 seconds. I already made a running analysis on Eliud as he participated in the Breaking 2 project as he ran the fastest unofficial time in a time of 2 hours and 25 seconds. This was considered unofficial due to a variety of factors, big ones being constant rotation of pacemakers and the very limited amount of participants, as well as a number of more advantages. However, it will be interesting to see if there are any differences in the way he ran each of these races. Let's start a little differently and look at his time splits. These are both incredible splits, however he actually goes even faster on the second half of the marathon compared to the first half in Berlin. This is unlike the Breaking 2 project, where Kipchoge ended up going slower the second half of the marathon. Trying to keep up a faster pace to try to break the sub 2 hour barrier is an incredibly difficult feat, but I think Kipchoge really shows more of his incredible mental discipline in the Berlin Marathon. Not only does he run faster on the second half of the marathon, but he also runs most of this part of the race on his own. Now let's take a look at his stamina. I talked about this as a strong point for Kipchoge during the Breaking 2 project. He basically maintained great form throughout the race with just little breakdown of form toward the end of the race, as noted by the slight increase in tendency to shift and rotate toward one side of the body. In the Berlin Marathon, this strength seems to have been further improved, which is absolutely incredible. Looking at him in Berlin, you can compare both these clips. Even though they are an hour apart and the latter being toward the very end of the race, he really maintains form incredibly well in this race. Now let's take a look and see if there are any notable differences in the way he runs both of these races. This may be impacted by the different paces noted in each of them. It's great that these clips are around a similar time of the marathon. However, in Berlin, Kipchoge was running around a 4:35 min per mile pace. In the Breaking 2, he was running a 4:30 min per mile pace. Another general difference is the stride frequency and stride length, which I was able to make an approximation off of the data and footage. During this clip of the Berlin Marathon, he ran with a stride frequency of 186 steps per minute and a stride length of 1.88 meters. In the Breaking 2, he presented with a slightly faster stride frequency of 192 steps per minute and just a barely smaller stride of 1.86 meters. The main difference, it seems like, when comparing these variables is the stride frequency. Now, these differences can come from a huge variety of factors such as the wind resistance and even the pathing during a specific part of the race. But it will be interesting to do a quick breakdown of his running form during these races to see if his form has changed at all in a 1 year time span. Let's look at specific parts of the running cycle during these two races. I'm not going to go crazy in detail about each part of the form since I talked about this in a previous video. First, let's take a look at the landing. No differences here as he presents with forefoot landing in both of these clips. What may be more interesting is where the landing is in relation to the body's center of mass. Now, I know this might come off as a contradiction from my oldest analysis I had on Kipchoge in regards to foot landing during the Breaking 2, as in that video it seemed like his foot was landing right under his hips. The footage I had there was a little choppy and I paused that frame a bit too late. This time, I froze it in a better place for a more accurate assessment. In both of these clips, he presents with the landing just slightly in front of the body's center of mass. This makes sense for a long distance runner, as doing this allows for improved ability to utilize the elastic properties of the muscles for increased efficiency. Now let's look at the amount of vertical movement noted as he pushes off the ground. Drawing a line through the pelvis in both of these clips, we can compare how much bounce he has during these races. In both, he has slight vertical displacement, but less during the Berlin Marathon. Decreasing excessive vertical force decreases stress on the joints and decreases risk of injury. However, some of the differences in vertical displacement may be attributed to different viewpoints like the ground incline and the angle of the camera, as well as the likelihood of Eliud Kipchoge generating more force through the ground during the Breaking 2 as he was at a slightly faster pace during this race. Now let's look at how much he tilts his body forward. Here you can see he has a slight forward tilt of his body. Initially, it may seem like there is more of it during the Breaking 2. However, this may be slightly exaggerated due to the incline of the ground. Since it seems like it's an incline of about 1 degree, if you recalculate it, it's about the same amount of forward tilt in both of these clips. Usually, forward tilt slightly increases at quicker speeds, so compared to last year's Breaking 2, Kipchoge seems to demonstrate a very slight increase in forward tilt at a similar pace. This allows for slightly improved momentum forward and maximizes usage of the hip muscles for improved force generation. Now looking at his body in a front view, pay attention to the movement of both arms and legs. You can see how symmetrical it is. However, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, he seems to be able to maintain this symmetry for a longer duration in the Berlin Marathon. Up to the arms, you can see that there is basically no difference in arm movement. He keeps his arms up high and close to his body. Most movement occurs from the shoulders and less from the elbows. Similar to the arms, really nothing notable that is different about head movement when comparing both clips. He basically keeps it in a neutral position throughout the entire race. Overall, there is very little difference between the way Kipchoge ran in the Berlin Marathon compared to how he ran in the Breaking 2 project 1 year beforehand. Maybe the only notable difference would really be the improved consistency and ability to maintain form with little breakdown even at the end of the race. Even though we weren't able to really find much differences in the form itself, I think this is a really good thing because this basically confirms that this style of running really works for him. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video and subscribe for more content. As always, I appreciate the support you guys have given me. Let me know what you guys would like to see more from me. And as always, thank you for watching.